I think we're live. What's going on, AJ?
There is no AJ. Only guy playing Resident Evil 4 nonstop.
Oh, yeah? Is that what's going on over there?
There is no AJ.
Hard at work as always, I see.
Playing Resident Evil 4.
Excellent.
Yeah, playing it for work. Of course I'm playing Resident Evil 4 for work.
For work, right, okay.
I'm all professional here, baby.
That's great. It's great. Yeah. Dude, yeah, Resident Evil 4, man. It's definitely it's eating up all of my free time. And anytime I'm not spending doing other channel stuff, I'm just trying to make my way through it. 19 hours in, AJ, and I still have a chapter and a half left for my first run through. I think you got through it much faster than I did.
Yeah, man. What a slowpoke.
For real.
Some of us the next level.
Some of us like to enjoy our games, AJ. Some of them don't want to rush just to get a review out.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it real good.
you enjoyed it IGN style. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think I enjoyed it more than IGN.
I think everyone enjoys things more than IGN. So, all right, man. We let these cats wait long enough. Let's start the show.
But first, an ad break from our sponsor.
Cock rings?
We're sponsored by cock rings.
Fuck yeah, everyone go buy your cock rings. Put the promo code in, Brian Paul, and you get 2 for 1 because...
Brian Paul cocks you all.
Because if you're like me, you need to. I don't know what that means. Does that mean I have 2 penises or you know what, AJ? We should have started the show when I said start the show. Yep.
Yeah, let's go.
This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Wise Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure. But don't worry. We also care about your oral pleasure. That's why our good friend RyPop puts this thing up on podcast services of your choice. And if you don't like live streams, because we just talk way too much about things you don't care about, i.e. cock rings, then Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry puts timestamps into the show after it's over, and you can skip around at your leisure. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR without Parole. And the gentleman over here, the beanie himself, it's AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Monday. And I know that Mondays usually suck, but we are here, Brian, to ensure their Monday sucks. Just a little bit less.
What are you doing? She's all meow meows. Get over here.
Dude.
Over here. Like if she's gonna sit on the floor and meow at me, then she's gonna be part of the show.
I got this so stuck in my head. You know, I know we can't stop talking about Resident Evil 4, but I really can't. One thing I absolutely love is that you can. I don't know if this is just part of the DLC, but I did buy the DLC, not the expansion stuff, but like just the cosmetic and little weapons doohickeys here and there. And one of the things you can do is you can change the soundtrack to the original, which is really cool. So, man, I've just got that Resident Evil 4 guy stuck in my head because I've changed that now, and I love it. It's great, man. I freaking love that game.
It's cool. Yeah, I mean, like I said, 19 hours in, still on the normal default difficulty. Loving every minute. Really stopping every single time. They're like, hey, you could progress, or you go kill some rats, or you go find these blue spinels. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Which I've never even heard that word before. IRL. Just
me neither.
Yep. So just shooting blue shit for me. It is amazing. It is amazing. And yeah, as we've already said on prior Gamescasts, I think on this show last week, that's the first time I've gotten to spend a lot of time with it. All the little complaints that people have about this in terms of like the VRAF elements, all the the third person stuff, it all fades away very quickly. And it's very strange. I don't know if you noticed this too, AJ. I also don't know what the fuck footage I'm playing here. This is clearly not Resident Evil. So maybe I should switch this up.
It's probably, let me guess, it's probably Galaxy Kart or Very Bad Dreams
footage. I should totally switch it to Galaxy Kart. You're right. I knew something was off. Don't worry, we'll get to Galaxy Kart Corner soon enough. Yeah, no, the what was it? Here, let's put this right here. I don't care what it is. It's really strange because the first thing I tried to do in Resident Evil 4 when I first jumped in, obviously my first live stream, is like I tried to reach out and see what drawers I could open. I wanted to see what items I could destroy, and there wasn't a lot of that in the first hour of the game. But you do get to a point, it feels like in the game, where I feel like a lot more care was put into making sure that things were destructible in the game. And obviously, you know, I'm sure all the stuff that's destructible in the VR mode was destructible in the flat screen version, but it still seems strange that, like, you get to a point and you're like, oh, I wonder if I can break this box. You know, not an item box, just a, oh, I can break that box. Oh, here's this jar over here. Oh, I can shatter that. Here's a pile of books. Oh, I can knock those over. And it's like, why didn't they like front load the game with that? Like, so it felt more VRAF from the word go. You know, and so it got to the point where I was like, oh, this is starting to feel like more like Village levels of interactivity.
Yeah, there's a lot hiding in there, and I pointed that out. I did a review on Saturday. After I beat the game, I live streamed another review.
I'm sorry. Did you say you live streamed a review?
I did, because I don't have time. I don't have any free time at all. Join
the club.
Maybe you should do a live stream review.
I care really about quality, AJ.
I care about quality too, but I also just wanted to say my piece. But that was something that I pointed out, that there's a lot more interactions in the game than it seems at first, and also the Quest version, because I beat the Quest VR version. It was kind of a similar thing, which I expected it to happen with this as well, where it starts off and there's all these third-person things, these quick-time events and all this stuff, but as you get further into the game, like, you start to see less and less of that. So I think it's just a natural way the game is, progresses, that it just, I don't know. It just opens up more, and a lot of the things that they probably had more interactive elements in the flat screen mode in those later levels, and it probably was just, they were able to just, once you get to those points in the game, it's like, oh yeah, this stuff does break. Yeah, because there's so much random stuff that you can actually break and interact with later on. You wouldn't think that at first, because everything is just like part of the visual environment. But yeah. So fantastic. I could talk about it so much. I want to do a second video on it of just like a spoiler talk. Mm-hmm. Like I really want to do a Resi 4 spoiler talk where I don't have to hold back and whatnot, just talk about everything about the game.
Yeah, the more I played, the more I realized that's something I really, really want to do. I want to make sure that we have a chance to do that. I'm down to do it here on the channel. But if there's something
let's do it right now. So in Resident Evil 4, this happens.
Yeah. Anyway, an amazing game, and I do feel like the more you play, the better it gets. I saw the IGN review, and I'm sorry, I can't be bothered to watch an IGN review that's 9 minutes long, because I probably don't care what they have to say. But I certainly don't want to shit on somebody who's like, giving it a good review. They gave it an 8 out of 10. They're giving it a good review. But from the summary that I saw at the end, it's a lot of the stuff that, again, doesn't matter after the first hour. The complaints are just like, it's like, yes, this is a different way to do VR games. But I don't think anybody who's played the whole thing is out there being like, I can't believe, the feelings you might have during the first 45 minutes. I don't think anyone finished this game and went, I can't believe they did it like this. This is ridiculous. No, it's fucking incredible. And we got to get off this topic before you start seeing me massacre chickens again. I really need to get some different footage for this show.
Is that all your footage is running around killing chickens?
Pretty much, yeah. I rendered it on the fly the last time we talked about this, and it's just ridiculous. But anyway, great game. If you haven't played it yet, you definitely should be. I'm still, dude. So many thoughts. Before we leave this topic,
Yeah.
I do want to say that like Village, I think, was more interesting when it comes to like moment to moment, when it's like you're like, oh, I wonder where I'm going to end up next. I wonder what the next environment's going to be. I wonder what the next boss fight is going to be like. I think Village does that stuff better as like a full-fledged like exploration kind of game. There's like very diverse, cool environments. There's some very diverse, cool environments in RE4 too, but not nearly the amount that there were in Village. And the boss fights, I think Village has it all over RE4. But the fact is, I think this is just a cooler action game, and there's way cooler upgrades and things like that. So I do think they both balance out and pull their weight, and both ultimately end up being 10s out of 10.
Yeah, they're both pretty equal. It's just one does something better than the other. It's kind of like there's a trade-off, but they're pretty equal. They're just better at doing certain things better than the other one.
Yep.
And as far as the IGN reviews go, man, the thing is they've made it clear that like they hire random people or whatever to do their reviews, and that's why it drives people crazy, because there's no consistency with the reviews. It's not that they're bad. It's not that they're, I watched that review. It wasn't even that bad or anything. But it's just, it's always different. It's always somebody different. So like you never have like a baseline, right? Like there's no baseline. And I think that's probably the biggest problem that they have in terms of, providing reviews. It's like, yeah, the reviews are fine in my opinion. Although I did notice a mistake in the Resi 4 review. I'm like, yeah, another forgot to look in the settings moment. But other than that, there's no baseline over there, and so it's just
that seems to be the biggest area of contention. I think when I saw people complaining that like, oh look, Resident Evil, IGN gave RE4 VR on Quest a 10 out of 10. They gave this one an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Did they give it a 9 on Quest?
Yeah, it was a 9.
Okay, yeah. And then they gave RE4 Remake flat screen a 10 out of 10. And then they gave this an 8 out of 10. And it's like, and if they had the same person reviewing all of these things, at least it would have made a lot more sense, and you could compare apples to apples. But right now you can't. And I totally understand that. Like, I mean, I'm not the biggest IGN fan, but I certainly understand, like, if you don't have if you don't have a VR team, then what else are you going to do? And so, it's just different people's opinions on essentially the same game. So I don't really care. I think it's easy to complain about IGN. And so
there's only one place to get your best PSVR2 reviews.
I'm very curious where you're going with this, because I don't think you're giving me the plug.
I'll leave that up to you. That's an open ending right there.
Polish Paul, got it. All right, man. Well, moving on. Everyone's like, what do you have against Polish Paul? Leave Polish Paul alone. Fuck Polish Paul. Just kidding. No one gets it, man. No one understands friendly rivalries. Like, I have nothing against him, but like everyone just like gets so like, what did he ever do to you? And he touched me on the shoulder one time, and I don't like it. You can quote the first half of that statement. Never mind the second half. AJ, it's Monday. We got to do some Monday shit. What do we do every Monday?
That's right, Brian. It is Monday, and we would like to thank those who support us in another way by changing your name to something Gamecat related, or something Gamecat adjacent, as you and something Gamecat adjacent like to say. And this week we have 1, 2, 3, 4 new Gamecats to welcome to the Gamecat Dojo.
Oh wait, hold on. I was drinking coffee and I knew it. I knew I screwed it up. There's no Gamecat intro. I told somebody to remind me to fix that, and I didn't. So hold on. Yeah, just imagine something racist.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Starting with Serial Killer, the Eggnog and Pumpkin Pie Gamecat. Do you like eggnog?
Bing. Yeah, I love eggnog. But so many people.
Are you like it's Christmas time? I gotta get some eggnog.
I mean, I could take it or leave it these days, but it's more of a tradition. My brother and I are eggnog aficionados. And so many people try to fancy it up with all sorts of spices and stuff. Nah, dude, the traditional hood eggnog.
Spices, is that what they're calling it now?
I mean, you know, spices, but you can add booze to it
whiskey.
too. But no, even when I was a total alcoholic, like I didn't add booze to my eggnog because I was like, I just drink vodka straight. Why would I ruin eggnog with booze? Like, just these two things can be separate. But yeah, leave that shit alone, man. Make plain ass eggnog without all the. Why? What about you? I bet you hate it.
Yeah, I don't really care about eggnog. It's not bad. Like, I'll drink it. I do like pumpkin pie though.
Oh yeah, pumpkin pie is only second to third to strawberry rhubarb pie and apple pie in my book.
But I'm much more of a salt tooth than I don't have a sweet tooth. Like I'm not. I've never been like, ooh, sweets and all over it. So I like chips and pizza. We've also got Saint Nicole Ace Gamer, the holidays Gamecat.
Bing. We're getting real festive here, guys. If we could just kind of like cool our enthusiasm for Christmas until, I don't know, the 23rd or maybe the 24th, I'd appreciate it.
Where's all the Halloween spirit, man?
Yeah,
where's all the Halloween spirit,
dude? It is the middle of December, so you know that it's time for me to start gearing up for Halloween 2024. I watched a movie called Don't Look Away. Have you seen this?
No, I don't think so.
It's a horror movie that proves they've run out of ideas for horror movies because it's about a killer mannequin.
Oh my goodness!
They didn't break the budget in the CGI department. I'll tell you that.
They didn't need to use CGI if it's a mannequin. You can just use a damn mannequin.
That's what I'm telling you. They just prop up a mannequin for a scary scene. They're like, you just stand right here, and then it doesn't move ever unless you look away, which is the cheapest way to use CGI because then you don't need it.
318 days, Brian. 318 days.
The answer, AJ, that I know you've been dying to ask me is it's okay. It's not scary, but it's a fun movie.
Oh,
if you get high and watch it with friends, Don't Look Away is fun, but it's not scary.
We've also got Psyper, the broken Gamecat ass trophy.
I'm sorry. Did you pronounce the P in Psyper? Like P psychiatrist?
Yeah, Psyper.
P pneumonia?
I had to do that. I don't know why I had to do that. Is Psyper a word? I didn't know. I've never heard of Psyper.
I was trying to make you look dumb. Don't make me look dumb. I don't know the fucking answer to that question. Yeah. I got nothing.
Yeah. At first I thought it was, there was like a billion different things I thought that could be. And then like, I was like, Psyper? I don't know.
Yep. Get us.
I don't know.
Dude, do you know how many times people reference games and shit that they're like, I can't believe you didn't pick up on the reference. And I'm like, I can't believe you thought I was going to pick up on a reference.
Oh, finally, last but certainly not least, we've got Darwin's eyeball, the Gamecat's eyeball.
Bing. All right. That's a thing. Guys, if you change your name to Gamecat because you love us almost as much as we love you, don't forget to change your name to on Google or YouTube, whatever makes it appear on the screen. Who can keep up? And then put hashtag Gamecat under any Without Parole video so I can search you up, and then AJ can give you a shout out on next week's show. That's right.
That's right. Shout you out.
Hell yeah. AJ, we got a couple tips here to take care of. Thank you, everybody, supporting the show in the chat. We love you very, very much. Living Legend with a Canadian $5 tip says, Happy Ven VR2 day game. I'm assuming it means game.
Yay! Dude, I've been waiting for this game for so freaking long. I have a trailer on my channel from June of 2020 saying like coming this summer or coming this year. And I actually was so excited about it at the time. I made my own trailer from gameplay footage and from like the soundtrack or something, and I remade it myself just because I was so excited about it. That was 3 years ago. So yeah, needless to say, I've been very, very excited about this game for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, in case anybody doesn't know how this all went down, Monologic Games, developer behind Ven and the upcoming VRSO bare knuckle fighting, they basically announced Ven VR Adventure. They said, "Oh, it's coming out, whatever 2021," and this was back in 2020. And they're like, "It's coming out for Steam, it's coming out for PlayStation VR, and it's coming out for Quest." And we were like, "This is great. We definitely need some more third-person platformer games. This is going to be so much fun." And then it came out for Steam, and we're like, "Where's the other two versions that you promised?" And they said, "Oh, we're only working on one version at a time." And we're like, you could have told us that last year, right? So when this came out, no one was surprised. And so massive communication issue there. And then by the time they did the Quest version second, and then by the time it came to do the PSVR1 version, PSVR1 was dead. And so they're like, well, what's the fucking point? And so here we are 3 years after release, and we finally got it. AJ, let's ditch the run of show. Let's talk about this shit now.
Okay.
Was it worth the wait?
Well, here's the thing, Brian. It just released today, and I just got my review code today. So I can only provide first impressions, but as far as first impressions,
such is the case on day of release all the time. Don't you worry your pretty little head there, AJ.
Well, as far as first impressions go, I like it so far. It looks good. It seems like a solid platformer.
Yep.
It's got a lot of charm and good music. And I am enjoying my first impressions so far of Ven VR Adventure.
Yeah. So I do like, I think it looks good. I started up and, outside of the unskippable cutscenes, which are absolutely pointless in a game like this, I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. And Ven, the character itself, looks nice and sharp. The worlds look pretty good, really colorful. It almost seems like what's happening here on the social screen seems a little washed out because it was way more vibrant in the headset. These colors seem a little muted.
Yeah. It's always never really translated to like a preview social screen, anything really well. It does look touched up for the PSVR2 version. This game was on Quest, you said?
Yep. I played it on Quest.
Yeah, this has to look better than the Quest version, I'm assuming, because there's some nice looking special effects. It doesn't look, now I'm not the best trained eye for this. Mm-hmm. It does not look like it uses reprojection though. It looks like a solid 90 frames per second. Is that seem accurate?
My guess would be I didn't usually in a nice bright colorful game like this where things are getting close to the camera, it's easy to spot reprojection, and I can't say I remembered any of that. I wish I was paying attention thinking about that but for this conversation, but no, I'm
not seeing any ghosting. I'm not seeing any Mura stuff like that, the buzzwords that all the kids rage about these days. Not seeing any of that stuff. It looks like it's native frames per second, but detail wise, the backgrounds, like some of the distance stuff, it kind of looks like just flat images, kind of lower res. I've never been crazy about that, but they look fine. But the stuff up close that you're actually, running across, and Ven himself, and all the environments, like I said, some of the special effects, like when you do like a special attack or something, an enemy dies and it goes poof, and there's like a cloud, like that all looks really nice. So yeah, it's not, I haven't gotten far into the game. It's not like mind blowing that I was kind of hoping, like this gorgeous AAA looking game. But it does look very, very good.
It does look very good. Yep. Again, better than the Quest version that I played last year, the year before, whatever it was. And and yeah, certainly not the issue that I have. I think they did a good job with the haptics. Every time you pick up one of these little runes, like these collectibles that are strewn throughout the world, you feel a nice little thump in the sense controllers. I was actually a little surprised. There's not anything to do in first person, I believe, in this game, and so I was surprised you couldn't just use the DualSense controller, which is a little more of a natural fit for a third person platformer that doesn't use any first person mechanics. So I think that's a little bit of an oversight.
Yeah, it'd be a fine fit with that, unless there is some stuff where you have to reach out. Well, you can reach out and scratch Ven on his head or whatever, and
then it's all worthwhile. Got it.
And then like when you're in the menus, you're like, to start, you're like in like a spaceship
Slide
like
that
cockpit.
lever forward. Yeah.
And like you're adjusting the spaceship panel to like menu select, and then you slide that lever forward, like you said, to actually boost down to the planet or whatever.
Yeah, nothing crazy though. No Astrobot style stuff. No. So I think they could have worked around it, but again, I'm likely going to use the Sense controllers more than the DualSense anyway. So it's just something I noticed, not a real complaint.
Yeah, as far as gameplay wise, so far, the movement speed is a little bit slower than what I thought. Like controlling Ven, he feels heavy. Like he feels a little bit heavier and slower than I was expecting. Because most platformers, it's so this fast-paced Twitch, gameplay, and this is, it's solid platforming so far. There's good use of like verticality, 3D space. You can actually control the camera a little bit. There's different camera options. There is smooth turning, so you can. It's kind of like Astrobot if you could turn the camera angle. Is kind of how it controls.
The default setting is very Astrobot. It just kind of like follows on a predetermined path. It's not the greatest predetermined path. It's something I didn't like about the Quest version, and I actually did switch over to
the free camera.
I started with the free camera because I was like, let's see how different this is, and then partway through the game, I switched to the predetermined path. And I was like, this is almost unplayable for me by comparison. You'd get to points where like the camera is facing Ven right in front of a jump, and so you actually have to like, wait, where am I jumping to? And you have to kind of like back up a little bit and look over here and see, oh, there's a platform over my shoulder, so you got to kind of jump over your own shoulder. It's like, come on. And so then I switched it immediately back to the free camera, and it's much better. It still has limitations. There are certain places where you can't swing it around like where you want to, but it's much better than it was in the original game.
You can kind of physically move in that. I thought that there's a locked camera and a free camera. I thought the locked was like the Astrobot style, and then but it gives you the ability to turn, but you don't have like you can't like move around, and you have to physically kind of peek around stuff.
Right. The free camera, you can just use the analog stick to swing it around like in a normal flat screen third person platformer, which is very helpful.
But I'm digging it so far. I like Ven is I should also preface this by saying I am a big fan of character-driven platformers. Like I've loved stuff like this my entire life. From even from Mario to Crash Bandicoot to Conker's Bad Fur Day to Spyro, all these kinds of character-driven platformers I am, and I like Ven so far. He's a charming character. He's got a little bit of voice acting, solid voice acting for his limited lines that he has. I don't know what they are. They've got some name for them. They look like some kind of dog breed or something.
Sorry, sirens on my end.
But similar to Astro's Astrobot Rescue Mission, there's little younger baby wolf things, whatever they are, kind of around that are hidden that you can rescue, and those things are so freaking adorable. I love them.
Yeah, they are adorable. Yep. I woke up a little late today and woke up to a text from my best friend who's looking forward to this game. And right off the bat, he said two things. One, so happy that the price isn't $30 like it is on other platforms.
Yeah, great price.
This game screams $20. If I ever saw a game that screamed $20, this is it. And also, he had a massive disappointment that he watched somebody stream, and they get to the end of the first world and there was no boss. Now I've finished 2 worlds, I believe, so far. What I like about these worlds is that unlike Sonic games and Mario games, where each by the time you finish with a world, you're sick of the theme, right? It's like oh, okay, we're gonna do Green Hill Zone Act 1, Act 2. Okay, the third one's the boss. It's like, okay, let's move this shit along. Like let's see what else you got.
Especially if you don't like the world and you're stuck there,
right? And
you're like, fuck,
right. So this starts you off. I believe it's four areas, and each one has like 4 separate worlds, and so I don't know if that actually translates to 16. I didn't actually check to see if there's 4 in each of the 4.
There's 3 regions, right?
I thought there were 4 regions. There's 3.
Maybe there's 4. I don't know. I thought there was 3, but
we're not being very helpful right now. But it's okay. And so I really do like that they don't like they give you one nice big long level in that world, and then they change the location. It's like, okay, we're off to see something else. However, I don't like. I mean, listen, people can say what they want about boss fights and tell me that like, oh, they're outdated, or they don't make sense anymore, or blah blah blah.
Who the hell says that?
You should see the without parole comments. When I complained about no bosses in Arizona Sunshine, you better believe the Arizona Sunshine fans were out to defend that game. But the fact is this is the genre that hasn't evolved all that much, and boss fights are a staple. And if there's no boss fight at the end of your world, then it's oh, thank you, 12 stages and all, Twitcher, thank you very much. So yeah, there should. It does feel like something's missing when you finish a world or finish an area and there's no boss fight. So I don't know.
So you finished a region and there was no boss fight?
Well, I didn't. I finished like the first 2 levels in a region. So if there's 3 bosses, I'll take it, man. I'll take it for a $20 game. I'll take 3 bosses. If there's one at the end of each of the 4 levels. But I don't know. I'll have to see.
Yeah, I think I'm expecting a boss fight at the end of each region.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah, but
that
yeah, remains to be seen.
Yeah, it's what, like, listen, I'm really happy we got this game. I don't love the platforming does feel a little, like you said, heavy. It feels I don't love the combat. I feel like jumping on some of these dudes' heads doesn't feel as good as it should. It's again, we're not
fine. They give you these 2 like weapons, and it's pretty cool. I think the 2 like they're pretty violent weapons for a cute, what's supposed to be a cute little character. It's like 2 like blades or something, and yeah, you swing them, and then you have like a ground pound, and
yeah.
I don't know if you unlock additional moves in the future, probably not, but yeah, it's based around something very simple.
Right.
And then I think it just gets like probably a little bit more challenging.
I just want it to feel more impactful. I want it to like it didn't feel great when I was bouncing on these guys' heads. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously some of the poisonous guys, like, who emit like the green gas or whatever, kept me from like really using my blades as much as I wanted to. I ended up just being like, you know what, I'm getting killed by these guys on accident too frequently. I'm just gonna bounce on everybody's heads, and like that didn't feel great to me. To me, this is like, as is, it's like a 6.5 out of 10. Like it's just below average third-person platformer, which isn't a bad thing. I gave Toss, I think, a 6.5, and I actually had a lot of fun in that game. It's just, it's great for what it is. And I certainly don't want to try to put this up against like a $40 AAA Astrobot game. But again, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's definitely, the thing is that this is a genre we don't have very much of in VR. And on PSVR1, there was a lot of bad platformers. Like there was a lot of platformers that came out that I did not like. So, the last one we had, I think, was Lucky's Tale. And I do think, and, I enjoyed the time trials in Lucky's Tale because that was like where the challenge was at. The campaign was such a slog to get through and was just so easy, so boring. What I do like about this already is that, I'm already liking the world, I'm liking the music, the kind of like the vibe of it, and I like the platforming is solid. Like it's not, like you said, it's not Astrobot levels of insanity, but I don't think many games are. But I'm hoping that by the time I'm done with this game, I'm hoping that it kind of lands in like maybe the 3rd spot under Astrobot and Moss, and then I'm hoping this can claim that bronze medal.
Yeah. Yep. Like I said, it's good. Just for anyone, like Imzadi says, I'm turning them off from buying this, and I was like, that's not my intention here. Like, again, it's good, but I think they priced it accordingly for what it is. It's like this, it's like this relatively average, if not below average, platformer, and like I'm glad that they priced it as that. And so for this price, I think it's actually a lot of fun. And who was it that says we're just being too picky? If you want us to get picky, we can get picky, because everything I've said so far has to do with the actual core gameplay mechanics and how the game feels to play. If you want to get picky, we can get picky. If you look down at your hands, get those fucking sense controllers off my hands. I like the design of my hands in first person. Because it's like telling you how many more collectibles you have to find, the runes and all that stuff. And I like that. But like, I don't need to see the sense controllers in my hand. They rendered out some pretty cool robotic hands. Get those sense controllers out of there. I don't need to see those in my hands. And especially since they like just kind of shoved them in there and the hands clip right through them. Now that's what you call being picky, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's really solid so far. I'm excited to continue playing it, and I hope there's, it's I like it so far. I like it a lot. I like it more than Lucky's Tale, which was not very good. Was definitely, I would say, was below average. This is, at least so far, is solid for me.
Yeah, I feel like this is very similar to Lucky's in terms of like, I like some of the things that Ben is doing more, but I thought Ben, with the bosses and everything, and the length of the levels and all that, like it's pretty solid. But they're on the same level for different reasons. Time and Space says, why haven't you reviewed Journey to Foundation yet? You got to play it first, man. You got to play a game before you can review it. I haven't played it yet. I played the first 20 minutes and it put me to sleep. But I am looking forward to it. It got a patch today. And I'll tell you, I checked out the patch real quick of Journey to Foundation right after playing Ben, and immediately noticed the reprojection in Journey to Foundation. So I think that's right there proof that Ben is probably running at 90 native. Yeah. He says, I don't buy anything without your review. Real quick, if you guys didn't see the community post, all my time right now is devoted to the PSVR award show that's happening on the 30th. There'll probably be no reviews between now and then. If there is, maybe I'll do an RE4 review, just because like I have actually been playing through that in my spare time. But I apologize for not having more reviews out. We've gotten like 10 games every week for the last few weeks, and I desperately want to review some of them. So
also keep in mind, when it comes to these types of games, Brian really hated Moss. He does not like Moss. He disrespects Quill all the time.
You're such a fucking liar.
If he calls Ven VR,
did you forget that I have control over your microphone? Did you forget that I can turn you off like that? Did you forget that no one can hear you right now? No one can hear you, AJ. Not at all. No, and guess what? I can also, I don't care what you're writing on that piece of paper. No one can see it because I'm just putting myself on full screen. It's really strange, isn't it? How I have control over what you're allowed to tell people. You fucking liar. I can see he's holding up a piece of paper. I don't know what it says because I'm sure it's a big fat lie is what it is. Oh man. AJ, I forgot to turn you back up. Say something.
Check 1, 2.
Damn it.
Brian hates Moss. Brian hates Moss. Brian hates Moss.
Yep. So Looper says you could have written it in the chat.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Like
gosh, darn it.
AJ doesn't like hearing criticisms of games that he likes, and so when I tell him what a bad first-person shooter Farpoint is, I'm obviously doing it to
You hear this? Do you hear this? You're just making yourself sound foolish at this point. So that's fine.
Yep. I absolutely am. I just love pissing AJ off. It's the most fun I have.
Hey, I like different opinions.
It's the most fun a girl can have without taking her clothes off. I think that's from Closer. Natalie Portman. I don't know, man.
You're just quoting movies. One thing I've always learned, Brian, is don't randomly quote movies. Like, people do not get it most of the time.
Dude,
you can't just randomly quote stuff to anybody. I've learned this the hard way, Brian, many times. It does not work. It often leaves people like confused and like what? And
dude, no one has ever left an episode of GamesCast Live less confused than they came in here. Okay, because the shit that I think is funny is just like everyone's like, what the fuck is he on about? And the answer is I don't even know, but it makes me laugh, and that's all I care about. As long as I'm laughing, you guys can just fucking hang out and wait. So that's Ven VR Adventure, $20, pretty decent game. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's solid, man. Like you said, good, solid $20 title.
Yeah.
I really needed a change up from all this death and horror and intense sim racing, real life shit. Like I needed something that was just cute and fun. And it seems like what we
you're
got
welcome.
So far.
I'm here for you, AJ. I'm everything you ever wanted.
Oh no.
I know. Again, just making myself happy. Real quick here, we got another tip from... it's here somewhere. There it is. Ryan Barron with the $5 tip says, Gun Club VR Reloaded is absolutely amazing. I love it. $10 upgrade or full price. It's incredible how much work they put into fixing PSVR1 problems. I feel like Sony fixed the PSVR1 problems with this by giving us, controllers that weren't tracked with light tracking. That was the biggest problem. That was the biggest problem Gun Club had.
Well, that was, but they also updated the game a shit ton. Like, by the end of the PSVR1 life cycle, that game was a lot more polished and fleshed out and was a lot better. So it's probably 50% that and then 50% the hardware upgrade.
Yeah. So obviously, no tracking problems here. I jumped into this one. It's great. It's out now on the PlayStation Store. $10 upgrade.
Woo! Nice surprise, man. I missed Binary Mill.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let me take you on a little journey here, AJ. The Binary Mill has a bunch of great games, and if you were to say, Brian, which game do you care about the least for them to bring over to PSVR2 from PSVR1, I'd probably say Gun Club. Now, send your hate mail to AJ at PSVRunderground.com because I don't want to hear
it. Somebody random is going to get some... Like, why is my inbox filling up?
Right?
All these random people attacking me.
Who owns this domain? What the hell? And why is your email address at PSVR Underground? We have bigger questions to ask, AJ.
Also true.
Yeah. It's only because in my head, like this was a fun game when it came out. It's very realistic, but VR, first person shooters, VR gun games, VR whatever you want to call them, have gotten like every shooter in VR has gotten more realistic over the years, right? Gun Club kind of came out in a world that like manual reloads weren't always a thing. Having that option wasn't always a thing. So it strove for realism. And I'm not like a gun person. I don't really give a fuck about guns, but then here somehow this made me care about guns. It said, you get in and get some attachments for this thing, learn to reload these, learn to reload them fast. It wasn't something I cared about when it came out. And then I played a lot of it and I was like, wow, this is actually way better than I expected it to be. And then my mind sort of reverted over time and said, yeah, this probably isn't a game that I care about. And then it came to PSVR2 and I played it today. And I was like, fuck, man, I'm hooked all over again. This is a great fucking game. And so despite the fact that I really want them to bring Rush VR and Mini Motor Racing X and all their other fucking games, including the ones that never made it to PSVR1. Yeah. I'm really glad they did this. This proves like they are more than capable of taking full advantage of the PSVR2 hardware. It is, super clear in the headset. It's obviously not running reprojected. It is running at super high resolution. Everything looks clear. The haptics are beyond incredible. Like they feel super realistic, just like the gun models.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everything you want this game to be.
That makes sense because that was part of the appeal of this game. The gunplay, the gun feel was really nice because it was basically just a shooting gallery when it launched. I mean, it's got all these themes of like, rescuing hostages,
yep.
Taking on, it's got a very like light gun arcade shooter feel to it, but then it's all these cardboard pop-ups or whatever.
Right. Even the zombie mode is like just cardboard zombies coming at you.
Yeah, cardboard zombies popping and coming at you. It felt good. Yeah. Nihilist Ryan, the game feline with the donation. Thank you so much, man. Says excited to play Gun Club tonight, but what is in the SWAT DLC? So,
man, it's been a while.
That was one of the. That was. I got you, man. I got you.
That's good. That's good. Because I was worried you weren't going to be able to contribute to this conversation.
That's why I picked out this comment.
I had a feeling.
But The SWAT DLC was actually really, really cool. We randomly got it one of like over Christmas time, like right before the end of the year, right around this time actually. They
like
really
what, 3
loved
years
it.
ago? How long ago was this?
Yeah, like probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But it introduced actually a pretty important update because it introduces new modes. And this was where the game on PSVR got full locomotion, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So this is where, because it was all just a wave shooter at first, for the most part, these modes that the SWAT DLC brought actually give you some full locomotion and
New locations and stuff too. I remember being in the subway.
Right. Some new locations, full locomotion, some SWAT team weapons, high-powered weapons, things like that, and just additional content overall, more challenges, more modes, things like that. So it was a great update. It was probably the biggest update for Gun Club that we got.
Yeah, and then the developers did say that that this isn't the end. Like I remember they announced Western DLC and then we never got it on PSVR1. And they said the Western DLC is coming fairly shortly in 2024, which is pretty cool. Because I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I mean, I spent, I don't know, 50 hours probably with Gun Club. I'm sure people have spent hundreds of hours with this game, but for me to review it, I think I spent about 50 hours with it. And
that long with it, jeez.
Oh, dude, there's so much to do in this game. And then they added a sandbox mode, where you can like kind of create your own areas. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in this game. Roman in the chat, Roman Plays says it is just a shooting gallery, but it's the Gran Turismo of shooting galleries, and he's absolutely fucking right. So I will say the one thing that kind of threw me off with this is that it doesn't feel like, when you're doing the manual reloads, it doesn't feel like other games. You need to be more precise. If you just try to shove the magazine into your handgun, like you can accidentally shove it. You can actually hit the gun with it instead of actually getting it in where it belongs. Okay. And so you have to be a little more precise. And then they award you for being precise. They say they give you points for a perfect reload. So it's not like, once you get into the habit of it, I'm sure you can do it without looking. But I certainly am still getting the hang of it. I only had a chance to play it for about 20 minutes before the show. But I was like, man, it looks sharp. It looks like a PSVR2 game. And it feels like a PSVR2 game. So
I'm glad we're starting to get PSVR2 games that look and feel like PSVR2 games.
I'm glad we're getting PSVR1 games that look and feel like PSVR2 games. Like that's, because that's not always the case. Which makes me a little bit curious, AJ, about an announcement we got today. Some very astute cats over on our Discord noticed that that Hotel RnR appeared on the PSVR2 section of the PlayStation Store. Yeah. I mean, talk about a game where we're just like, is that just going to be stuck on PSVR1 forever? And we got our answer. It showed up on the PSVR2 store. Yeah, I don't want to hype it up
too much, but I loved my time with Hotel RnR, especially for those who don't know, Hotel RnR is kind of like a Rockstar simulator. It's got some like kind of arcade and survival elements to it where you can accidentally kill yourself and die and take damage and stuff, but you basically have to get away with trashing these hotel rooms or backstage areas or all different types of motels or whatnot. And yeah, there's this game was, I thought, a lot of fun. It's definitely more like on the little bit on the cartoony side, especially like with its physics and stuff. But it was kind of like just break as much shit as possible. And there's some customization in there. I had a lot of fun with this game, actually, a lot.
Yeah, I think my only complaint with this, because I absolutely loved, when you first get into the game, all you have is like your fists. And like, you can pick things up and just kind of swing them around and see what you can break with them. And you're like, oh man, okay, that's cool. Like a lot of things are destructible here. That's awesome. And then, fast forward 25, 30 minutes, and then suddenly you have explosives and you're blowing up entire walls. Like, things that you could barely break before are now like just in shambles. And so it's a lot of fun playing and replaying this and constantly buying new weapons and buying new things to add to your arsenal and just making it, more fun to blow shit up. My only complaint with it was that the earlier levels I felt like were more fun, the more compact stages, that when you get further into the game, it's sort of harder to create these combos, sort of harder to like, really really cause massive destruction. And so I like the first 3 or 4 hotels better than the last couple.
Well, the big secret thing about this game that I think was criminally underlooked are the mini games and the depth of the mini games. There are, that's the main
the mini
game
games.
mode, which is kind of like a survival thing. But then, there's all of this, these different mini games, and you can like randomize them and stuff, or there's different like modes and stuff you can do with those. And dude, I love the mini games, from like the chainsaw topography. There's like, you're at the bottom of a pool and you're like trying to grab all this stuff from the trunk of a car and like all the money, and there's some like weird fitness thing versus the devil wearing like 80s clothing, attire, and music, and you're trying to like, you gotta like touch these things. There's all these little different fantastic mini games that were in this that was just, for me it was like, that was when I went from liking the game to like loving it, because it's just a nice way to change things up and have some variety in there.
Yeah, again, I think this was like a $20 game on PSVR1. It's kind of like the perfect $20 game. Yeah. So I talked to the developers real quick this morning, Wolf and Wood Interactive.
Hey. They still talk to you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for some reason. Don't know why. They still refuse to be interviewed, though, because if you remember this, the interview was going to go down, and I was going to talk to them about The Exorcist and Chair in a Room, Greenwater, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great. What do you want to talk about?" And I was like, "Pretty much just why the PSVR1 versions of these games are still so goddamn janky." And they were like, "Oh, yeah, maybe we don't have time."
So, can you blame them? They're like, why do I got to deal with this asshole? Like,
right? Hey, not everyone has not everyone has the integrity of Alex Sin. Okay. So anyway, I talked to him this morning, and I'm obviously just joking. I really don't think that was the reason they canceled the interview. But I asked them, and I was like, "Hey, is this legit?" Because the cats saw this on the PlayStation Store under the PSVR2 section, and generally means it's happening. And they said, "Yeah, it's coming out in 24 hours, midnight UTC time." So figure out your conversions on that. I didn't feel like doing it, and it will be a free upgrade. That's what we love to hear.
Yes.
So
for the people.
Yeah, there'll be some details, I believe, tomorrow about what the PSVR2 and PlayStation 5, whatever version, the enhancements that it's getting. But right now, I don't have those details. But it is happening, and it's happening very soon. So patience.
Twitcher points out, he says, AJ hijacking Dave's channel and streaming Hotel RnR drunk as hell was a real highlight of PSVR1. I did. I have one stream. If you want to see me absolutely plastered in honor of Dave Station's famous drunk plays, I do have a drunk stream where I was just talking with Dave on the phone, and we were drinking and getting hammered together. And then I was like, you know what? I should stream on your channel. I can do a drunk play right now. And I'm just like absolutely hammered. And I play Hotel RnR on his channel. And it was such a fun time. Shout out to Dave. By the end of it, though, I kind of started sobering up. So like I get kind of like,
what have I done?
Tired and bored, but no, for the first good like 30 minutes to an hour of that stream, I am just I'm just hammered. I drank an entire bottle of wine, I think, before that. It was fun times though.
Amazing.
Shout out to Dave Station's famous drunk plays.
Hell yeah. We got Jim Perona. I've not been keeping up with the tips. We've been using the tips to kind of jump from topic to topic. Jim Perona with the $2 tip says those caves in RE4. Yeah, there's a lot of caves in RE4, but man, the caves in RE4 are great.
Oh, they're gorgeous. There's so many gorgeous parts in that game. But yeah, those caves are like, you want to see some good graphics, go visit those caves. Yeah, beautiful.
Actually, yeah, I was about to say something, but then I realized the next tip relates to it. The Gamecat Andrew Ehrenreich with the level 2 membership says, Happy Monday. It took me 4 hours to realize I can grab my flashlight in RE4 off my head. Kind of wish they used the coat system from RE8. Still loving the game. Absolutely, dude. Leon Kennedy's got that, like, is it a bomber jacket? What the fuck is it called? Where it's like this, it's kind of iconic thing. And it's even like, it's even like a specific brand this time around, right? And so it's like, it'd be cool to like look down and be like, open up that, that bomber jacket and pull out your flashlight from inside of it. I'm mystified why you don't have access to the flashlight whenever you want to. You can take it off your head when it's on, and you can hold it in your hand and wave it around. But once it goes off, that's it. You can't use it anymore. I definitely enjoyed the coat system and kind of like all the holstering systems in Resident Evil Village more than I did RE4.
Yeah, like I said, there's a trade-off between the two.
Oh yeah. B Smith 2332 with the $10 tip says, suggestion for PAX East fundraising. Here's the first suggestion, AJ. We should probably tell people that we're doing it. Yeah. Here, well, you know what? Why don't you read the rest of B Smith's tip, and I will and I will bring up the fundraising page.
There it is. Suggestion for PAX East fundraising. Thank you for the donation, B Smith 2332. It says donors could purchase a walkabout round with the hosts. Schedule permitting and price point need to make it worthwhile for your time. Something to think about. And in typical Without Parole fashion, I'm gonna be like, you know what? Just hit me up. I'll come play some walkabout with you anyways.
See, that's the problem. Is when I read this, I immediately was
that's immediately what you were thinking, right?
Immediately was like, oh man. First of all, I don't feel like I think enough about myself to be like, you paid for time with me, right? Yeah. We spend so much time on Discord. Just hanging out with everybody, like in the Patreon chat, in the public voice chat. It's just like we're very, very accessible, and we hang out with people. We hang out with the community like all day some days. And I was like, for somebody to pay for that time, I'm like, I don't know, maybe guys, maybe.
This is why we're bad at this.
Oh, dude, this is why I'm poor. Is because I don't actually like money very much, but if I had more, it would solve a lot of problems. So here it is on the screen. Gamecat Meetup 2024. Help the crew. We were trying to get to $5,000. All the money is going to go to my wonderful co-hosts. And because we're trying to make sure that everybody makes it to PAX East, which is happening, by the way, March 21st through the 24th, 2024. It's happening in Boston. And so we just got approved for press badges. So we all know that we're able to go. And then on top of that, I applied for a panel room so that we can do an episode of GamesCast live. And that will not be nearly as much fun to have all of us there in the same room if we're not all there in the same room. If one of the co-hosts doesn't make it just simply because of expenses. And I would hate that. These guys, you got to understand, everybody. AJ and Miles and Wes, they volunteer their time here. There's no way I can pay them. Hopefully I send a little traffic their way to their channels, and hopefully it pays off in that way. Hopefully it pays off that they get to interact with this awesome, huge, be part of this big PSVR community that we've grown over the last 7-8 years. But they're not getting paid for this, right? And so the last thing I want is for them to spend thousands of dollars to come to a Without Parole Gamecat Meetup. So we're trying to help them out. And so if you guys can, help out.
We're getting closer, man. We're getting closer. Keep supporting, keep sharing that GoFundMe. And yeah, man, I look forward to being able to, with your support, being able to come see y'all again and give you big AJ beanie hugs. Y'all are very huggable. You know that.
Gustavo,
I'd like to give you more hugs.
Gustavo in the chat says, "Where's the link?" I already posted it, but here it is again. I'll just keep posting it. Anyway, that's enough of me begging you guys for money. Here, what other tips do we have here? AJ, we got Nihilist Ryan, the Game Feline, with the $5 tip, says excited to play Gun Club tonight, but oh no, sorry, we already read that.
I already got that one.
Yep, out of order. Daryl Lowe with the £5 says, is Dyschronia worth playing? 60% off on the PlayStation Store just now.
Depends on who you ask. If you ask me, hell no.
I mean,
But I'm not into visual novel.
Yeah, it's a really tough call. I mean, like if you don't know if you're into visual novels or not, then it's hard for us to answer. There's not a lot of game going on in these games. Like there's stuff to do, which is better than Tokyo Chronos, the first one in the series. But this is like the third one, because the second one was what, Alt Deus. The first one was Tokyo Chronos, and then there's Dyschronia. They've gotten better, I think, over time to give you more things to do, more game stuff. But you know, yeah. Unfortunately, it's a lot of reading in VR, and I think reading in VR is the second worst thing you can do to a person in VR. The first is making them stand there and watch somebody talk at you. Like, come on, let's fucking move along. Yeah,
move along.
Peter Venable says sponsorship should pay for it. Who's the sponsor? We don't have.
He's saying cock rings.
Oh, cock ring should pay for it. Oh, cock ring. Oh, you know what? I thought those were emojis next to his name. We should make cock ring emojis. Yeah, man. If anybody knows any cock ring companies that want to support without parole.
No, but speaking of cocks, dude.
Where's this going?
Cock sauce, baby. Sriracha. Did you hear that sriracha is apparently the shortage has ended? You guys, it's over. Apparently, sriracha is back. I call sriracha cock sauce, sorry, because it's got a rooster on it.
It does indeed.
Dude, but apparently the shortage is over, and I'm so happy. There's like a pepper shortage of the peppers needed for sriracha. You don't listen, man. If you don't know, then you don't know. Like,
who are you talking to me right now?
Tell me you don't eat sriracha.
Tell me you're talking to somebody in the chat. Because
no.
I just didn't know it was still going on. I feel like it's been years.
Dude, there was a sriracha shortage for like it felt like a year. It felt like a very, very long time. I checked every time I went to the grocery store, and then I was talking with my coworker, and he had a bottle of sriracha, and I was like, "What is that?" And he's like, "It's back." So, guys. I shouldn't tell everybody, though, because I need to go out there and buy all the sriracha first, and then I should have told you. So, not a good strategy on my part.
Brax Bro is like, are you saying sriracha? And then Silver Nexus says, tell me that's really how you pronounce sriracha. Yeah. I wasn't going to say anything. Listen, right? Because...
What is it? Is this another Synapse thing? Is it sriracha?
I think it's spelled SIR. It's sriracha.
Oh, it's sriracha? I thought it was sriracha. I don't know, man. It's got a green cap and a fucking chicken on it. That's all I care about. It's good. See, somebody here says SRI. That's what I thought it was.
Sriracha.
SRIR. Sriracha.
Is it SR? I'm fucking looking it up right now. You guys can just hang out.
Sriracha. Braxpo says, is it not Sir?
Oh my god, it's SRIR.
Yeah, Sriracha.
Oh my. Okay.
Jokes on you.
Yep. I mean, I've been. Okay, listen. After you pronounce the P in that one GameCat name, you're not to be trusted with pronunciations.
Decipher.
It's you're just adding letters in where they don't need to be added.
Ooh, AJ1 chat 0. Let's go. Okay,
listen. I've never heard anyone.
AJ1. It's like AJ1 chat 5,466.
Literally never called it. I've never heard anyone say anything but sriracha. And so this is the first time I'm hearing somebody say it any other way.
Sriracha?
Sriracha.
Are you Mr. Sriracha?
Srirachas.
That'd be a good Halloween costume. Sriracha.
That's my dad. Sriracha's my dad.
Oh my goodness.
God. Yep. Mandela effect, Braxpro says. It is definitely the Mandela effect. Listen, I don't totally subscribe to the Mandela effect, but when I was a kid, I remember it being the Berenstein Bears. No question about it. There was no AIN. Fuck that shit. Somebody's playing a prank on us and it's not fucking funny. That's all I can say.
All I can say is that, dude, sriracha is the greatest hot sauce ever made. I put that shit on everything. And I have not found, I was not able to find a good substitute for it. I tried all the other fucking rip-off srirachas, and they all sucked. All of them. Even the gluten-free one was bad. There's nothing like the original. And if you're eating pizza, ranch and sriracha.
He's still saying sriracha. I'm like,
Sriracha.
I'm never gonna pronounce it like that. Sriracha.
Sriracha. It's probably sriracha, but
I don't fucking know.
Sriracha.
Wow.
You know me. I gotta pronounce things weird all the time.
Everybody in the chat is mentioning all of the typical Mandela effects. Like Monopoly guy had a friggin' monocle. Shazam was a movie. Yeah, Hellboy had a sharp tip on his tail. I swear. Yeah. AJ.
Brian.
I've had enough of you today. I think we should move on to 20 questions and get the show on the road. What do you think?
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for sparing me from another 2.5 hour episode when I've had 4 hours of sleep and worked 10 hours and got other things to do.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, if you guys don't know how this works, AJ picked out a game, and it's PSVR1 or PSVR2, and it's up to you guys in the chat, aka Looper, and then me, to figure out what game it is. 20 yes or no questions. Let's figure this shit out. We've only got 6 minutes. That's the real killer. That's always the real killer.
Robbie says, never had it before, just bought a bottle. Better be good, AJ. All I gotta say is you're welcome, and welcome to the real world.
Yeah, I mean, if you like hot sauce and you don't like sriracha, then like, what? How do you? What? How
I love hot sauce, but yeah everything pales in comparison.
Yep. Agreed. However, you know, I like it on occasion. I'm not the kind of person that just needs to put it on everything. So, Hasib Mirza in the chat says no conversation about Forever Pool. Listen, real quick. A lot of people have been curious about Forever Pool. Go watch Miles' stream. That's all I got to say. Go watch Miles' stream. The Forever Pool dropped. It like shadow dropped in the middle of a week where we got like 10 games.
A lot of stuff,
right?
Yeah.
And
it was like $30. Like somebody was like, AJ, will you go play that? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll check it out. And then I saw it was $30. I was like, I can wait a little bit for this.
Yeah, especially when like Black Hole Pool was supposed to come out like 2 months ago, and that just disappeared. Like part of me is like,
Black Hole Pool, won't you come and wash away for VR Pool? Black Hole Pool, won't you come? Brian, do it. Won't you come? Black Hole Pool, Black Hole Pool. Are you muting me?
Oh no, because honestly, I think that needs to be on the internet forever. So I only mute you when I don't like what you're saying. I will always unmute you when you're making a fool of yourself.
Oh
no! I was actually we were in voice chat today, and me and Izra were talking about Chris Cornell, which is funny. He brings this up. And have you ever heard Chris Cornell's version of Billie Jean? It's like just him and acoustic guitar, and it's fucking. I mean,
no, but Soundgarden was one of the best bands I've ever seen live.
Look it up if you haven't heard Chris Cornell's version of Billie Jean. Like, I mean, like the first time I heard it. I didn't even know. It took me like it took like I don't know, like half of a verse or the full first verse for me to go, wait a minute, I know this song, right? Because it's so different and it's fucking beautiful. Is Chris Cornell still alive?
No. God rest his amazing.
So many people from that era died, and like to the point where I'm like I can't even keep track. And
literally, all you have to know is that literally Eddie Vedder is all that is left. There's nothing but Eddie Vedder remaining.
Well, that could have gone better.
Yeah, it could have gone a lot better.
Yep. Pearl Jam hasn't been good since 10.
Hey, they're all right. They're also really good live.
I know, I've seen them. I actually saw them on the Yield tour. I love Pearl Jam. Don't ever get confused.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Don't ever get confused when it comes to me just trying to piss AJ off and saying shit that I don't actually believe. Pearl Jam is great. However, let's be fair. Versus was their best album.
I thought you said it was 10. I thought you said they hadn't made a good album since 10. Versus was like their second album.
That was me just trying to piss you off. And but truthfully,
You
when
should
I
have
look
said
at
like that binaural.
dude,
or whatever it's called.
binaural was good. Oh no,
Well,
I take it back. I saw them on the
yeah.
binaural tour. That's when I saw them.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I don't remember which ones their bad albums because they don't have many, but
Yep.
I like songs of theirs. I don't even think I've ever liked a full album of theirs other than 10. Maybe Versus.
Versus was so good from start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, it. I don't remember. Anyways,
Vitology was like a very interesting experiment that was like the slow decline, where it was like, I mean, listen. I don't think I'm fucking blowing anyone's minds here when I say no bands are as good as they were when they were in their 20s. You know, as soon as you get to your 30s, you start making a lot of money. Suddenly, it's like it's a completely different vibe, and And no bands are as good as they were when they started. None.
Well, you know why, Brian?
Why?
Because hearts and thoughts, they change, fade away.
Listen, I don't want to Mandela. I don't want to Mandela affect this conversation. Are those the words? I'm putting you full screen again.
Anyways,
okay.
I'm done.
Yeah, strike the Signosis Gamecat, or I'm sorry, strike the P-Signosis Gamecat. It says, who cares about VR? This is a random topic podcast now. Sure is.
Serial killer says, you guys are old.
Yeah.
Got that right. You get that right.
Also, serial killer, so are you. You get all of our references.
Takes one to know one.
Living Legend with a Canadian $2 tip in the chat says, did you guys check out Affected the Manor that Stealth dropped? Living Legend. Listen, Living Legend and everyone else out there in YouTube land, I try to respond to all of your comments, you know. And so when I see a comment like that you already left in non-tip format, Living Legend, I responded to it and said, go watch Friday's show, Friday's Gamescast, because I talked about Affected the Manor there. So go check out Friday's show. And yes, I did. And yes, it's good. And yes, it's still not supposed to be out for 2 more days, which means it doesn't have the day 1 patch or the 30% off sale. So if you haven't bought Affected the Manor, wait 2 more days because Sony fucked it up as always. Jesus Christ. Goddamn PlayStation Store can't get their shit right if their life depended on it. There's another tip, isn't there? Yes, there is. The AJ and the fuck out of my sleepy brain for Miles Gamecat. But the $5 tip says, is it a shooter? Okay, hold on a second. Wait, we haven't started playing yet. Oh my God. What is happening?
Oh yeah, I forgot we were going to do 20 questions, and then we talked about grunge for like 20 minutes.
Clearly, I remember.
Hey, he did it. Picking on the boy.
Seemed a harmless little fuck. But we unleashed the lion. Yeah.
Burn down, burn.
With the reason, let us rest. How can I forget? Oh my God. I've been wanting to go back to bed all day, and now I want to pretend like this show never happened.
Yes, we've done it. We've made him fully regret getting out of bed today.
And we lost 7 subscribers. So we've officially done it. We are the anti-YouTube podcast. Everyone else is like, yes. Click like, make sure you hit subscribe. And I'm like, you don't like it? Get the fuck out of here. All right, guys, help me out with 20 questions because I don't even remember what VR games anymore. Let's do this. On your mark, get Des, go. AJ, is this on PSVR1? Yeah, is this on PSVR1?
Yes, it is.
I knew it was because AJ is going for a deep cut today because it's Monday and he hates me. And if you guys didn't know, that's the truth.
I didn't go for impossible.
Okay, stop talking. This isn't your turn. Is it the AJ and the blah 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 asks, is it a shooter? Do you do a lot of gun shooting in this game?
There is shooting in it.
Okay, there's shooting, but this
I
sounds
wouldn't
like
call it a shooter though.
Okay, shooting, not a shooter. Okay. Let's see. Is there a focus on like the narrative? Is this story driven?
I wish, but no.
Okay.
It'd be the best story ever told.
Looper's wondering if it's horror or if it's scary at all.
No, it is not horror or scary.
Okay.
Just awesome.
Oh, whoa. AJ's saying this game's awesome. I think we got a freebie. All right, listen, I'm going to guess it's not on PSVR2, Braxbro, because that would make it too easy, and AJ's trying to go for a deep cut, I'm sure. Let's see.
What did you every time you pick something like...
Does he use the Move controllers?
Yes, use the Move controllers.
All right.
It's 5.
Let's see. Do you ever pilot a vehicle in this game?
You do not pilot a vehicle, no.
You heard the emphasis on vehicle, right, you guys? Right. So it sounds like you pilot something.
No, it's the emphasis. Emphasis.
On the wrong syllable.
Yep.
Okay.
No, you don't pilot vehicles in this.
Okay. Well, there goes Stardust Odyssey. Does it have any platforming elements?
It does not have any platforming elements.
Okay. Man, oh man, this is tough. Okay, let's go back to Looper because it's a good question. Is this a game that's ever been in discussions at least for a top 25 list?
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Not.
Okay. Not top 25. All right, guys. Let's see. So there's some shooting in here. We're gonna figure out what games have some shooting, but not really a first-person shooter. Do you have full control over your character, like where you go and everything like that?
No. I mean, maybe in some parts, but no, mostly not.
Would you call your movement on rails?
Yeah, I think I would mostly describe it as on rails. That's
okay.
10.
It can't be a mech game, you guys, because that is clearly a vehicle. So that eliminates Archangel. I'll go. Oh, Brax, bro, I like that. This is one of my favorite questions. Have the developers made other PSVR1 games?
Ooh, I don't think so. I'm gonna say no. I could be wrong, but I don't think it would help you anyways. But I'll look it up real quick. But I'm gonna say no.
Okay. All right. Mostly on rails, we feel like. It is shooting, but it's not classified as a shooter, first-person shooter. It's a PSVR1 game. AJ, I'm going to guess this didn't come to PSVR2, but did it come to PSVR2?
It did not come to PSVR2. We are not that lucky.
Nope. Okay, it can't be Sirento because it's not on rails. Because that's not on rails. Oh, yeah, I guess Rails. Is it a roller coaster game?
No. It's not really a roller coaster game.
Not really a roller coaster game.
Though it might have some roller coaster-like elements, but I don't want to throw you off, so no.
Wow. Okay.
Scraper. Awesome Tatum with the scraper shout out.
Right? It's good
Let's
stuff.
Go.
Clearly a vehicle the entire time.
Really, really good, mediocre stuff.
Is this kind of a collection of like different experiences, like an amusement park thing or anything?
Yeah, I'd say it qualifies as that. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of a collection of different experiences. I'd say it qualifies for sure.
Okay. So I mean, let's think of those types of collections. Dragon Ride didn't come to PSVR1, Zach Lightning. Sirens on my end. Does it take place in a carnival?
This game Does not take place in a carnival. That's 15.
Uh-oh. Well, guess what? I have to guess. So we're just going to go with Pierhead Arcade because we're out of time.
It is not Pierhead Arcade.
What is it, AJ?
Brian?
Yeah.
I have news for you, Brian. Something that did release January 29th of 2022 on PlayStation VR1.
Mm-hmm.
It is what Zach Lightning said. It is Ride VR.
Oh, wow.
You don't remember that? You don't remember that coming to PSVR?
Yeah, dude. My brain just fucking just broke.
Jargons.
Yeah,
the Jargons have gotten him.
It just broke when I read Dragon Ride. Yeah, I was clear in my head. I was like, "Yep, that was a PSVR game, a PSVR2 game," because in my head, PSVR2 has been out for way longer than 10 months. And it's funny that I don't remember playing this on PSVR1, though clearly it was a PSVR1 game. I'm sorry, Zach Lightning, you nailed it.
Good job, Zach Lightning. And yep. I saw other people really pushing you in the right direction. Who was that? Somebody said, Zach Lightning said the Dragon Ride, which was correct. Somebody asked, who was it? Somebody asked, do you ride an animal? And I was like, oh, is he going to ask that? But good job, chat. Y'all win this one. Brian loses.
Oh, I definitely lose.
A mix between it's got Beat Saber like game in it.
Those are the sections. Balloons. Those are the sections that are on rails. But there's a bunch of sections that are not on rails. We can free fly.
There's a free fly. There's a shooting mode, which I think is also on rails.
Yeah.
It really sucked as a shooter though. Really, the best thing about it was the Beat Saber ripoff mode, and that wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
It had some good music in there though.
I really wanted to like this one, but it just felt, I mean, maybe on PSVR2 they could make this feel better. But yeah, it was one of those games where you're like, I'm on the back of a fucking dragon flying like, hundreds of feet above the ground. Why isn't this more exhilarating? And, and it just, I guess that's because everything just kind of felt flat in there.
It was also blurry.
Yeah, it was a little bit blurry. I remember that.
Yeah.
So, yep. But good choice, AJ. I definitely should have gotten that one. Good choice. Did you play Epic VR Rollercoasters?
Dude, I did. And, that's a conversation we talk about all the time is like, where are the roller coaster games? So it was really interesting that dropped, and I did get to check it out. I actually checked it out, I think the day it stealth dropped or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. At first I thought it was some SpongeBob thing because the front cover, obviously they're promoting, I don't know, like they know some guy that was like a janitor at the SpongeBob SquarePants place. And
what
so
you got against janitors?
Nothing.
You heard it here first. AJ hates janitors.
I'm just saying they knew somebody there that was able to get them the license for it. And so like I thought it was a SpongeBob thing. I was like, well, I don't really know or like SpongeBob very much. I don't know anything about it. And then I got it, and I was like, oh, this is actually called Epic Rollercoasters, and it's like that's just a paid DLC that's SpongeBob theme. So this is how it goes down, man. I hear that it's free, so I'm like, well, I absolutely want to check this out.
Mm-hmm.
I download it. It is sure enough, it's free. And then there's like 2 or 3 free levels, and then there's a bunch of paid DLC.
Yep.
So I try out like 2 levels. I try the dinosaur one, obviously.
Obviously.
And I'm like, this is pretty good. Like it doesn't, it looks clear. It looks okay. It's obviously like some parts, especially in the distance, don't look that great, like not very much detail. But I'm like, dude, this is like, it's going fast. It's got you flying off the rails. It tries to have a little fun with it. And I was like, oh, this is really good. And so I was like, you know what? For science, I will buy some DLC and see how this is. And I buy the DLC, and almost all of the DLC is worse than the free stuff.
Really?
And I'm just like, that's how they get you, man. I know Julie's in the chat. That's how they get you.
What one did you buy that you didn't like?
I bought like the super.
That's the one I bought.
super something.
Yeah,
There's like one or two good ones on there.
I'll have to check out the rest because I only played the Armageddon one with the zombies.
That was decent.
Okay, and I didn't check out the other ones because I just haven't had a chance to go back to it.
The snow one is decent. But then all the other ones are like really bad. Like they're either way too short or like they're pretty much just way too short and lackluster. And you know, I like the ones that are longer. They have lots of like, you know, speed to them. The exciting ones. And so I'm going to be trying to figure out, you know, the thing is like, you know, absolutely go download the free mode, play the rock falls, play the dinosaur thing. That's a lot of fun. And there's alternate game modes that are also pretty good. Like the shooting gallery for Epic Rollercoasters is actually pretty damn good too. It has no business being that much fun. But when it comes to the paid stuff, really approach with caution. At this point, I don't even know. It might even be worth. I have to look at the pricing and stuff. But my plan is to basically get everything and then tell you, okay, don't buy the full packs because half of it's garbage. Just get this DLC ride, get this ride, and I think you can maybe end up saving some money and getting the best experience that way. But yeah, I liked it.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, like I don't have a leg to stand on in this conversation because like I said, I only tried one from the DLC that I picked up, and I only played one from the core game itself. No, maybe two from the core game. So I'm going to be doing the same thing. I absolutely want to, you know, check out all of these things, check out all of the DLC, mostly because what I've played so far has been impressive. I love the sense of speed. I love when you go over a super high drop and you feel that feeling in the pit of your stomach where it's just like, oh man, like this is it kind of nails things that I sort of wish Switchback and Rush of Blood did with the roller coaster. You know, it doesn't hold back.
It's a better roller coaster than Switchback for sure.
Yeah, it just gives you that sense of speed. It does corkscrews, it does loop to loops. I mean, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, I'll check out the rest of the DLC and get back to you guys too. As far as, you know, like this is something I'd love to review and I'll let you guys know about all the DLC. So hopefully in January, February, March, like I'm going to be like blasting through a bunch of reviews, and this is definitely one that's on the list to get back to. I saw somebody else tip. Alhambra D, Catalergic Gamecat with a $2 tip says Chris Cornell's Patience version is very good. I'll have to check that out. It's good stuff.
Also, I like that you can have like a little person accompanying you or something in the roller coaster. The skeleton is the best. The skeleton is my favorite.
Nice. Yeah, and hopefully we can check out Forever Pool soon. I want to check out.
I haven't even played Five Nights at Freddy's yet, and I've been looking forward to that game forever. I haven't even played it yet.
Yeah, so far so good, but you know, like not amazing, just good.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you guys, I'm sure you guys saw that Forever Bowl or Bowling, whatever the hell it's called, is also coming to the PlayStation Store. It's already there, I believe, and trophies have gone live. So I'm sure that'll be shadow dropped on the PlayStation Store any day now too. So hopefully we can get caught up on some of this shit because man, it is tough to keep up with all the PlayStation VR2 games coming out. For me, it means I'm going through a rough patch where I feel like I'm not getting as much work done on the channel as I want. However, for you guys, I mean, this is exactly what we've been hoping for. This is all VR games from all platforms are making their way over to PSVR2. So there's no way to say, you know, that we don't have all the games that people are looking for. We're getting tons of games being brought over from PSVR1. And so that catalog is slowly, more sirens on my end, that catalog is slowly getting filled out as well. And then, of course, we get our big PSVR2 games that are also coming over. Man, it is pretty much everything we could possibly want. This is just the best year that VR has ever had. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's been an amazing year.
Yeah. All right, you guys, let's get out of here. Thank you, AJ, for hanging out. Make sure everybody, you click the link in the description below and go subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. While you're at it, try to help out with the GoFundMe. Don't forget to check out the link on my Twitter account at Parole PSVR because you want to sign that Crazy Taxi petition to convince Sega to bring Crazy Taxi to PlayStation VR 2. You know you want it. We all want it.
Imagine we could have Twisted Metal VR. We could have Crazy Taxi VR this gen. How crazy would that be?
Yeah. good.
Offspring's also really good live.
Thanks everybody who helps the channel run. Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry for putting timestamps into the show after it's done. Rypop for getting us up on podcast services of your choice. Everybody who helps the channel financially over on patreon.com/withoutparole and everybody over here that are members of the channel. Also, everyone who tips during the show. You guys are keeping the lights on. We love you all so very much. We also appreciate you if you're just hanging out, shooting the shit, keeping us entertained in the chat while we try to keep you entertained. Everyone who helps during 20 questions and everybody who sits back, watches the show, and doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there and we love you just as much. Oh no, it's Monday. AJ, can I cue the cat?
Cue the cat, Brian, because Rob Axel says kind of like when AJ sings, so I'm gonna sing you a ditty. Dan Kiefer, keep it at 90s, living legend in the chat tonight, yeah. Secrets of, says see you later, Game Cats. Just like Silver Nexus. Steve Irie says cock rings and hot sauce. Yeah, Delgato, yeah. Flame hat the Game Cat says sing and sing. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm done with that. But I do want to say, see you guys on Wednesday.
If we get a copyright claim for that shit, I'm going to contest it and say, listen to this shit. It sounds nothing like the original. You can't even call this a cover song.
Niles Rider, game feline friend, my metal feline brother. Chris Forthenberry, thank you so much. Brax Bro says play Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Blue Chew is embarrassed as she should be. Stike the Psygnosis Game Cat.
I have a feeling this is a sentiment Blue Jew expresses frequently.
Says AJ channeling is Chris Cornell, but it's not Chris Cornell, it's Eddie Vedder. Maybe it kind of sounds more like Scott Stapp, so Scott Stapp.
Oh man, now you should be embarrassed.
Yeah, oh yeah, that guy. Jan Clausen, I love your name, and I love saying it like that. So I don't know if that's how you say it, but I'm gonna say it like that. Jan Clausen, Steve Irie, thank you so much. Mark Smith, Silver Nexus, Peter Venables, Secrets of Wonder, Rob in the house tonight. Thank you so much. Miles Dyer joining us, gracing us with his epic presence. Mad Vegan says just beat Chapter 15 Resident Evil 4. No spoilers, but he says loving the soundtrack of AJ and Brian. Jonathan, the Parole virtual underground double wise stranger, says AJ should be a band. I should. Hey, I was in a Without Parole band once. Don't you do it, Brian. Don't you do it. No. Living Legend, thank you so much. Flippy Nuggets, another great name. Ezek, love it. Rob Axel, hope your PS5 gets back to you soon so you can play games again. Roman plays fifth in the house tonight. Scott Jessico, PSVR Gamecat for Life says, GG boys, great show. Looking forward to Ven and more RE4. Oh yeah. And now it's time to cue the motherfucking gap, Brian, please, because AJ needs to say bye-bye to each and every one of us. I'm doing my best here. Zach Lightning, great job on guessing the game again. Awesome Tatum, my Crossfire Sierra Squad dude. Jay Meow in the house tonight. Oh, everybody can leave now. It's just Jay. Brian, now it's time for my favorite part of the show.
Oh, well, hold on a second. I just want to make sure we give the AJ and the fuck out of my sleepy brain 4 miles Game Cat with the $5 tip a shout out because he says, love the show as always. Great concert series.
Get the Blu-ray now.
Yeah, for real. Your
favorite outsell Taylor Swift's new live concert release. If you need a Blu-ray of somebody lip syncing.
Did I ever tell you? You know that song "Call Me Maybe"? And if you say no, you're a liar.
I actually do. You know why? Because of Weird Al Yankovic. That's how I know all my pop culture.
What's his version?
It's from Weird Al. Oh, he does that like it's all the polka mix where he like the polka mashup, and I think that song is in one of those mashups.
Well, I didn't know
those things.
I didn't know the song Forever, right? I mean, it hit like went viral, like peak popularity, and like I'm just never in a place where the radio is a thing, right? So like I literally never heard the song, and in my last year waiting tables, I was just like setting up the restaurant one day, and the owner walked in, and he just was like, "Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy." Like, and he's like this big doof who like can't carry a tune if his life depended on it, right? And I was like, "What the fuck is he singing?" Right? And that's day one. Fast forward to like day 30, and I still haven't heard the actual song, but he's coming every single day singing "Call Me Maybe," and so I've got
Oh God.
And so anytime that song comes into my head, I've only heard the real version like twice. But I've heard the Mike DeRozier version 1,700 times. And so anytime that song pops into my head, I hear my old boss just singing it. I was like, oh my God.
That's great.
And and it's not pleasant. So there's that.
Anyway. You need to hear the Weird Al version.
Obviously. I'm sorry, I mean, Javiously.
Obviously.
Right. I'm trying to look for what happened in this year or this day on Without Parole History 2 years ago.
Yes, I need my history lesson, Brian.
I don't think we've used this. This is from December 15th, 2021. Let's check this out. The headline was "The Jigsaw Game We Didn't Know We Wanted, Puzzling Places Review." And then part 2 of our response to Android Central. They must have done something bad, AJ.
Yeah,
This is a fucking great thumbnail, though. Look at this thumbnail. It was like just I made this with all the little puzzle pieces missing from the. No, it's terrible. We didn't have anything to talk about. Yeah.
What, you mean you don't want to have a full hour-long conversation about puzzling places?
I mean,
what's wrong with you?
We were very low on options in 2021. This was the best we had. But luckily, Puzzling Places turned out to be a really good game. And so, despite the fact that it wasn't something a lot of people were excited for, it turned out to be something that you should have been excited for. Who knew?
Also, you always learn something here. And today, you will learn that Taylor Swift is Mark Smith's spirit animal. There you go. There you have it.
Oh. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Scott, for those who don't have Ven VR, by the way, head over to the Patreon, the underground one. That's why I'm saying it here in the secret place where everyone's gone now.
Don't worry, I already left.
Head over to Patreon if you don't have Ven VR yet. I'm giving away some keys.
Oh, yeah. By the way, AJ's the only one who got keys.
Apparently I'm like the only one anywhere.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And I got keys for you guys. So head over to my Patreon. It'll be there in a minute.
I have no idea how to stop the stream because everything on OBS just broke. But luckily it's the end of the show, so we can end the stream even though I have no idea what's going on.
Excellent.
Cool. All right. Good night, everybody. We love you all.
We love you.